Just some breaking news coming in. I'm just going to interrupt. Coutts' chief executive, Peter Flavel, the boss of the private bank, will step down immediately, NatWest Group has said. Let's just touch on that while you're with us, because, again, the Prime Minister was reflecting on the NatWest situation a little earlier in terms of Howard Davis, who was on the NatWest board. But it seems that maybe the dominoes might start to fall now.
Well, it does indeed. It really has been a crisis, a reputational crisis for NatWest. And it seems quite odd that these figures seem to keep trying to hang on and then have to go at what feels like the 11th hour. It'll be really interesting to see what happens with Howard Davies, the chairman of the group, paid £750,000 a year. The Prime Minister has so far said that he isn't calling on him to go, but nor has he said that he has full confidence in him.
Just to explain, Coutts being a subsidiary of NatWest, but the overall board has obviously policy decisions to make on both.
Yeah, exactly. So NatWest is the parent company, and what's important about that is that it is 40% taxpayer-owned as a hangover from the bailout in 2008. So the government does have a lot of sway here. The government is in fact the largest investor in the NatWest Coutts conglomerate. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens with the chairman now. It looks quite likely that Howard Davies will be forced out or feel that he should resign a year earlier than he was planning to. And if that's the case, perhaps he is under pressure to do it quickly so that this communications crisis for NatWest doesn't get any worse, bearing in mind that they've already lost $850 million off their value.
Well, and counting, I think, down another 2.2% this lunchtime, so that it's still falling, yeah.
And this all started with the row between Coutts and Nigel Farage after he says he was debanked. He has demanded the resignation of the entire NatWest board. Now, it's looking like he could get what he wants here.
He could well get what he wants. Nigel Farage clearly tapped into something which is bubbling below the surface. He tweeted 28 days ago explaining what had happened to him. And so it just gives you a sense of how long this crisis has dragged out for NatWest. And he is now calling on people. He wrote a piece in The Telegraph this morning urging other people who have been debanked without a reason to come forwards. And NatWest is, at the moment, getting a lot of calls from people saying that they have been debanked and they don't know why. So it doesn't feel as though this crisis ended with the resignation of Dame Alison Rose last week.